Let's see. Okay. I have to. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Hold on 1 second. I think I may have. Hello, everybody. Ugh. Okay, let's see. Trying to add Instagram. Hey, y'all. I think I may have messed this up. All right, hold on 1 second. Okay, people are getting in. Let's see. Edit this. Oh, no. Let's see. Save changes. And why is it not going live for me? Oh, stream. Hold on, y'all. I may have messed this up. Okay, let's see. Hello, everyone. Give us 1 second because I think I may have you're live. Can y'all see us on Instagram? I don't think so. Can anybody tell us if you're live on Instagram? Okay. Live. Okay, I'm trying to add. So bear with us, people. We'll get it. We'll get it fixed. Let's see. I'm going to add this. And but enter clearly. Next. Copy this. We'll get it. We'll get it done. Just hold on 1 second. Save changes. And then I think I should be able to go live now. It's still not. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Thursday. Okay, there we go. Got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Say hello when you come on. Let me go live on TikTok. See, it's just a matter of patience. Hi, everyone. Let's see. Okay. Come on in. Come on in. Say hello. Come on in. We have a special guest tonight, y'all. So come on in. If you are on Hey TikTok family, y'all can hear Attorney Egunyomi. Can you say hello to everybody?
Well, good evening, everybody. It's great to be here.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a special guest. Come on in. Hello, Mr. Hamed. How are you? So if you are on Hey Instagram family, can y'all see Attorney Egunyomi? Someone says, hi, Shala, we're in See You Together. Can you see that? Can you see it on your end? Oh, no? On Instagram? No, you can't? Attorney Egunyomi, can you see that on your end?
Can I see that on my hand? No, I cannot.
Okay, so I just read to you what people are saying. Someone says, so I don't know. Let me see whose name this is. This is person is signing as B__IYE.
Well, that person from CU, God bless you. I don't know
what
you.
CU?
But you were absolutely right. Covenant.
I know Miss Amosu. You know Miss Amosu, right?
Oh, Miss Amosu, I know her. Yes.
Hello, Miss Amosu. Attorney Egunyomi is on today. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. So, hey, TikTok family. So you cannot see our special guest, but you can hear him. So can somebody confirm for me that y'all can hear him okay? Because I still don't know how to add TikTok to the whole platform stuff, but I went in law school, so I don't have to do tech stuff. Okay, you can hear him. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Nice. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. So our special guest tonight is Attorney Egunyomi. I'd call him my Anthony Aburu.
Yes.
So absolutely. That's a side talk. But this is Attorney Sola Egunyomi, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. Hope you all have had a wonderful, wonderful week so far. We've got a very, very special guest. Like I said, I call him my adopted brother by force.
By and force. I'm here to stay.
And you
And
what?
I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay as your brother.
I don't know if I say fortunate or for, but
Man.
it's the truth. But we are glad to have you, Attorney Sola Egunyomi of the Law Office of Sola Egunyomi, based in Indiana. So y'all, some of you, I see some names I already probably know him because we work together and regarding your cases. And so for those who are just meeting him, like I said, really, he's like my adopted brother, but he is also an excellent immigration attorney. And we are glad to have you. This is Attorney Sola Egunyomi, Law Office of Sola Egunyomi. And let me put his information on. If you are in Indiana area, the Midwest area, Chicago, Missouri, you name it, Ohio. So that's your go-to guy right there. His contact information is right on the screen for those on TikTok. His contact is 317-528-0142, Sola@egunyomilaw.com. And we'll repeat that if you need. But for those on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, you're able to see it across your screen. So yeah. I think, can you still hear us, Attorney Egunyomi?
I absolutely can hear you.
I just want to make sure. And can y'all, hey, Mama, my mom is on. So my mom knows of Sola, but hasn't seen him or met him before, but she knows she is. So probably
hello, Grandma.
Yeah, Banki Shalegoa. Okay, so Otumba says, Otumba 126, good evening, Mr. Egunyomi. I reside here in Indiana. So we got your questions. Okay. Oh, my mom says hi, Attorney Sola E. So yeah, she's already said hi. Can you hear us? Okay. Yeah. Can you hear us here? Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you, Mama. So if we can help you with your immigration case, contact information at the Olaleye Law Firm is 334-341-4475, olalayelawfirm.com, info@olalayelawfirm.com. Same number on WhatsApp. Attorney Egunyomi is also on WhatsApp with the same number that you can reach out to him on if you're in the Indiana area, like I said. But keep it in mind that even though he's based out of Indiana, immigration being federal practice, we both can represent immigration clients regardless of the state you live in. So it's not just limited to Indiana area. This is nationwide. But there's some folks, some of our folks, since lawyer, Indiana move higher services in but Alabama. So for those of you who are more comfortable with people in person, and especially, I've got quite a number of clients in the Indiana area, but for those who want to, someone in person where they can touch and feel, that's your person, especially if you speak Yoruba language. Obviously, he's a Yoruba man, so he can, we'll get to your questions later. So we have a special guest. As y'all know, there's so much going on with immigration and all that. So we are here to answer your questions tonight. And as you guys know, let us know where you're joining from, what city, what state, what country. We actually do have people joining from, like I have people from Jamaica, and it's wonderful. So put your questions in the comment section. I'll read them out to Attorney Egunyomi, and if you've got anything, if you need his contact information, like I said, it's on the screen. On our end, be sure to like, follow, share, subscribe, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Olaleye Immigration. We'll be glad to help you out with your immigration cases. Attorney Egunyomi, welcome.
Thank you, Attorney Olaleye. Appreciate it.
So introduce yourself. If there's anything else that I have missed, so let the people know more about you, what you do, areas of practice, and how they can contact you, which is on the screen.
Will do. Well, thank you, Attorney Olaleye. It is a high honor and privilege to be here this evening. And I want to thank you especially for actually platforming me and just bringing me out of my shell.
I don't like compliments.
And for those who don't know, you've heard the attorney say, adopted brother and all, but hey, it's way more than that. She is my big sister. She's my mentor. It's okay to also say that she's my big oga in this business. She's one of the best to do it. And she's one we
that's enough. Let's talk about you.
We aspire to. And more importantly, again, thank you so much for me being here today.
Thank you for honoring the invitation.
Yes, and to all those who are on live, you've heard her call my name. My name is Sola Egunyomi from the law office of Sola Egunyomi. And for the most part, 80% of what we do, immigration law. And then we do some family law. office is situated in Indiana, but as you've heard the attorneys say as well, we work in the 50 states. So
when it
even
comes to
immigration is the entire 50 states.
yeah.
Absolutely. So if you reach out to me, even if I'm not in town, we can always catch up on Zoom. Or if you want to wait for me to get back to Indiana, happy to do that, of course. Absolutely. In terms of what we do, basically a bunch of what we do, family immigration. Think about dad filing for kids, dad filing for wife, consular processing. If you have folks in Nigeria, we're trying to get them in. If you have folks in here, you found someone here, you got married to someone, those are the things we do. A bunch of those, those family immigration. And also we do humanitarian kind of stuff. Think about VAWA, Violence Against Women Act, right? If you've been abused psychologically, physically, emotionally, by your spouse, by your parents, those are the things we do. And also we have something called the U visa as well. If you've been a victim of a crime, violent crime or some sort of crimes, domestic violence, just a bunch of crimes, touch base with us. We're happy to help you out and help you find a pathway to staying in the country. Business immigration wise, we also do some employment-based EB-1A for people of extraordinary skills and ability, right? Also think about there's something called the EB-4, religious-based visas. If you're a pastor, imam, sheikh, whatever, and you're trying to work in the United States as a clergyman, as a priest, as an imam, we're happy to do that. Now, even as we do that, and for all the folks in West Africa, for all the folks from West Africa, Nigerians, we do pastors, we do imams, we don't do babalawo. I haven't, that's not good. So that's not something we do at this point. But you know what? You never know. If you have a 501c3, if you're non-profit, hey, if it's a religion, sure.
We don't discriminate. We're faith-believing Christians, but there's no discrimination.
Yep.
That's what the Bible says.
Yep. So we do everything, as you had Attorney Sola say. So just in a nutshell, that's kind of what we do. But, even if I haven't said anything, doesn't matter. Reach out to us, talk to us, email us, call us, and then we go from there.
Yeah,
thank you.
So just to reiterate, VAWA, U visa, fiance visa, I-751. We've got the employment option, R1, EB-1A, EB-4.
Yep.
And that's the contact information. And so reach out to him if you're in the Indiana area. He will be very much. And when I tell you that this guy is meticulous, listen, I think y'all think I have OCD. And when I tell you this guy is, if I have a case, especially when I have a conflict, or if I'm out of town or something, people are like, I need to talk to somebody. Who do my assistants contact? Usually, everyone who works with me knows his contact, because he's an excellent immigration attorney. So when I tell you yes, and I don't usually say that, because my work is my work. I can only vouch for my work, but this is someone I can tell. I tell people, if I can vouch for another colleague, I can tell you without any doubt that I can vouch for him. So you're being good hands. So, Attorney Egunyomi, so with everything that's going on in the country, people are obviously on edge. There's a whole lot, people being placed in remote proceedings. You go for an interview, you're scared of whether or not you're going to go back home or you're going to be detained. People who have removal orders who are, and then have an interview scheduled. If you're accosted or you encounter ICE, just generally tell people, what to look out for in situations like that. Why it's also important to file whatever you can file now, in spite of the hold, and how courts usually can decide. The court can come and say those who have the cases in, the hold doesn't apply. But if you haven't filed, then So tell us a little bit about all those topics, so and then we get to questions.
Absolutely. So thanks for that, Tony. So basically, with the whole thing going on right now with the President Trump's proclamation, which is sort of for folks from some XYZ countries, you're not allowed. So basically, USCIS at this point, they're basically pausing adjudications on benefits on applications. So here's what I'll tell you. First big thing I will tell folks, we have not, I mean, they haven't stopped us yet from actually applying and actually submitting petitions.
Exactly.
So what I would try to advise folks is even, and we've seen clients pull back at this time saying, no, I don't want to submit anything. But actually, this is when you want to actually submit stuff. Yes, USCIS will cash your check, issue us a receipt, but no benefit will be granted.
Unless you fall within an exemption.
Except you fall within some sort of exemption. But still, it's always good to get grandfathered in, because the law changes all the time. We're seeing stuff, folks are going to sue about this adjudication.
The lawsuit's already pending. We're just waiting for decisions to be made.
Decisions to be made. So it makes sense to quickly, if you think you qualify for a specific benefit, you probably want to submit stuff, work with an attorney, submit your stuff, and let's see how things go. At the end of the day, this is always going to be lifted. We just don't know when.
Exactly.
But clearly, it will be.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense to actually submit some. So that's one. Number two, we know there are folks with removal orders on, and folks and people call me and the attorney herself, and they call all the time and say, hey, I'm terrified. I've got a biometrics on and I have a removal order on me. I can't even go in. It is true. But here's the thing we probably want to say. For those, you basically have two options, right? Option one to say, no, I'm not going to go because if I go in, I might get picked up. Okay, if you want to go. The other option is to go, but knowing there's a huge risk, huge. We're hearing people saying, yeah, maybe it's not going to happen. Some field offices, maybe. But in some field offices, they're really active on that. You need to have an attorney on standby, to call just in case you ever get detained. So, and in some cases, when you get detained, if you have a pending benefit on, you may be able to bond out. They may be able to sort of release you temporarily for you to still stay inside. So it makes sense to have an attorney who does removal and who does bond hearing, who does ICE a lot on standby, just in case that happens.
And even if you don't, for instance, I'm not sure about you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but for instance, I don't do detained cases, I do removal cases. But for those who, if you're detained or you need bond, an attorney can always, because we have quite a number of colleagues, can always refer you to the right person who can help you. But Attorney Egunyomi, do you do bond or detention?
I do not as well at this point.
Yeah. So, but if you go to a field office or interview with any attorney, now to be clear, there's nothing an attorney can tell you that's going to, there's not, I don't care what any other attorney tells you, but no attorney has the right to stop a detention. Mm-hmm. You can talk to a supervisor, you can speak to the director of the field office, you make an argument, but if they're determined to detain you, they will. There's nothing anyone can do to stop that. However, having that information, at least knowing that the person knows where you are, what's going on, they can ask questions, they can contact your family members, they can still make an attempt to try to to have them not take you away. So, but if you have zero, representation, you're at their mercy at that point.
Yep.
So okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So so on that, we want to. So again, this is for those with removal orders on them. Mm-hmm. Now, guess what? Don't want to scare you folks, but even those without no removal orders on as well, we're hearing just in some few cases about folks being picked up in field offices. So at this point, again, just want to try to reiterate to some of you, it's always good to have counsel if you're in removal proceedings, or if you have a removal order already, you got to have counsel as you're trying to get into USCIS offices. So that's that one on that. And something else to throw out, we are in precarious times at this time, folks. So I just want to try to advise. It sounds very, but we are in precarious times. So and this is for those who feel, I can submit that I-485. It's easy stuff. And hey, friends, guess what? If your I-485 gets denied these days, they put you straight in the removal proceedings.
You're going to get an NT. There's no if, what, but you're getting an NT. It's just a matter of time.
They, in fact, just a little war story. spoke to one of the USCIS supervisors some months ago, because I actually went in there to represent clients. And he said, hey, man, I'm still digging through I-751s that were denied a year ago. We're issuing NTAs now.
Yep.
So you might have had that I-751 or even that I-45 denied a year ago before this administration, and you think you're home and dry. Be careful. Don't be shocked if you get an NTA. We're seeing that a lot now. So those are things we want to, again, just trying to advise.
And that's why, and let's piggyback on that, that's why you need to file whatever you qualify for. Because, for instance, just like Attorney Egunyomi said, if, for instance, you had a denied I-751, but you've got a new one that's pending, keeping in mind that even though you get an NTA on the one that was denied, the law requires that before an immigration judge can proceed on that one that was denied, if you have another one pending with USCIS, then they have to admin close your case or continue your case so that USCIS has an opportunity to adjudicate the new one you have in spite of the NTA that you have. But if you've got nothing else pending, then obviously then you have to deal with court. So say, for instance, you had a joint petition, a 751 that was denied, and it was denied because your spouse didn't show up for the interview, or you had to convert to an abuse case or divorce case, but you couldn't do it on time and was denied. And now you've got a self-petition that is pending. You get an NTA on that joint petition with the court. If you've got nothing else, you don't have a case in court because you're no longer with the spouse. You don't have a viable ground. But if you found another one and you've had a self-petition, the court has to pause any adjudication and allow USCIS to adjudicate the one that is a self-petition. Even if that gets denied, you go back to court, then you have a basis in court. You have an application for relief. That's why it's important to still file what you can file in spite of you getting an NTA.
That's true. And so all of that sort of ties back to this time, as you're submitting stuff, be careful. If you think it doesn't make sense, if you think that form is a little clunky and wonky, you don't understand what it's saying, you may need counsel, because again, stuff gets denied, folks are getting put in it. I mean, back in the days, when I say back in the days, I'm talking about before President Trump 2.0.
The good
old days, right, Attorney Alale. Good old days where, I mean, and this comes up a lot. West African cases, I-130, I-45 gets submitted. It gets denied because of the Nigerian divorce decree, that ubiquitous Nigerian, that's, back in the day.
The one ground for divorce, for a denial.
For denial. Back in the days, I'm saying, when I say back in the days, I'm saying before Trump. For the most part, when it gets denied, USCIS gives you the room to go fix your divorce in terms of you now filing a divorce from the United States, sending it back to Nigeria or whatever, and they fix it, and then you refile. Hell, even last year, I got tons of green cards approved based on refiles. They fixed it, but now, if it gets denied, you don't have that opportunity again. So before you submit anything, you've got to be careful, and which is a good segue to this, attorney. FOIA, freedom of
information. Yeah,
you've got to. If most of our West Africa, I don't know, Caribbeans, Africans, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Most folks submit stuff to immigration without knowing what they've submitted. And this is a highly documented country. From the first time you go to that embassy, wherever you are.
God bless you for that, because I say
they have it all.
Everything.
And I've got clients coming to me, they tell me, they probably have, maybe they've misplaced. No, they did not. It's there. Forget it.
They don't misplace anything.
Going back to Ellis Island, the first immigrants that came in, hundreds, they're pretty documented stuff.
I just got a FOIA record that we have documents from 1988.
Oh,
and I was like, I was 10. Like, y'all keep, who is keeping, 1988.
They do.
Yeah.
So from that first contact at the embassy, at the consulate, they've got it all. So now you're in the United States, and I'm sure you've heard this from Attorney Alale a million times, but let me just try to throw it out there. And you're here, you're trying to submit stuff, you don't even know, what's my dad's, what stuff did I even, it makes
DS-160 information.
DS-160 information, right? So it makes sense for you to do a FOIA. Yes, cost money, but probably one of the best dollars you're going to spend. You pull that file out, hire Attorney Alale, hire any other attorney, whatever, pull that file out, get it out, know what you're up to. And that has saved tons and tons and tons of my clients.
Yeah.
So you got to know what you're doing before you send it in.
Exactly. And more now more than ever, with them doing this. So talk a little bit about why FOIA is even important with this re-review, re-examination of people from the travel ban countries that USCIS is going to be, it's already starting to do anyways.
Right. So the reason why you want to do a FOIA, just as we said, is, because when you were coming in, you might have given a different information, or you may not even remember what you've actually put in that stuff in your DS-160 when you were coming in. So now when you do a FOIA, it lets you see what's going on, because USCIS, what they plan on doing now, Trump said, look, that the goal is to go back to 2021. The goal is to go back,
and that's what it's starting from.
From the last time he left office. So USCIS priority now is to go back 2021 to see, in fact, to see all. Now I don't know how that is possible. They want to go back and say every approval, every decision that has been done since Trump left office in the first time. They want to see during the Biden years to see if USCIS at that time made the right decision. And they said they want to revisit every decision. I don't know how feasible that is.
I think it's a case where they probably will do random selection, but you just never know if it's going to be your case.
Yes. So VAWAs, I-130 approvals, all that stuff, U visas, whatever it is, they're going back. Again, so that's why you need that FOIA to be at least know the information you've put in, be ready. Be ready. Just be ready. Just be ready for anything. And it does a whole lot of good. Now, Attorney would have told you, sometimes FOIA gets redacted. What do I mean by redacted?
Ooh, tell me talk about that. Yeah.
You do the FOIA, and then it comes back, and then, hey, attorney, half of the what the heck? You told me. So sometimes USCIS will redact it. Now, they've always done that. But again, under this administration, it's even worse. In fact, we're submitting FOIAs, and we're having to submit the same FOIA 4 or 5 times. USCIS is saying, I can't find it. I can't find this person's alien file.
I have like 3 appeals pending on FOIA because, even the last appeal I did, I attached the 5 receipt notices of cases that were filed. They came back and said no record found. Like, all this, it was just like, I'm not playing that. Let me just file an appeal.
So basically, when it comes back, sometimes it gets blocked out. Like half of your file may just be blank. The reason why it is so is sometimes maybe you've been under some sort of fraud investigations or whatever. So USCIS has to block its sources and its methods. Want to make sure that you don't know who they've talked to. They've talked to that neighbor, they've talked to that colleague or whatever. So sometimes it's blocked. But by and large, it's an helpful exercise. You still get to see some stuff. I'll give you just one little expo, like we say in Nigeria. Sometimes what the officer talks to you about, or some of the officers' doubts or questions, sometimes they put it in the FOIA. They kind of write it down.
Yep.
And then
I've seen that, and that's, thank you for bringing that up. Yep.
Yeah. So
no, and another thing I know that Attorney Egunyomi does in his firm is, and I always tell people this, no matter what it is, first of all, another reason why FOIA is important is that for those who use what I usually call street lawyers. So you're going to an immigration consultant. Listen, I'm not doubting anybody, but the truth of the matter is there's a reason why people go to law school. You don't go to law school to become an immigration consultant. That's just the truth. So if you use the street lawyer, immigration consultant, and most of the time people don't have a record. They have zero clue what was filed on their behalf. If you are in a situation like that, even if your case has been approved, you want to see what was filed on your behalf. I can't tell you how many times that I have someone say, can you take over my asylum? Because like, what is your story? And they go, I don't know. How would you not know? And I know in my firm, in Attorney Egunyomi's firm, you would always get a copy of your file without fail. It is sent to you, so I can tell you no client is going to come and say, I didn't get a copy. No, it's not going to happen, because I can pull up my email and say, this is the email that was sent to you. You just need to download to save it. So make sure if you're in a situation where you didn't get a copy of your file, be sure that you're able to do a FOIA to get whatever you have in your record.
And also, Attorney, I just even want to try to encourage a bunch of the listeners. 99% of the clients who come into my office, when I say, I mean, just to your point, where's your file? The folks don't have it. Please and please, for every time you submit stuff, just keep your record. Just make copies of it. Ask for it. Keep it in a file. Put it in the house. It's just, please.
Yeah, and the thing is, it is your right. Every state bar requires every attorney to give you at least one copy of your file.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be afraid to ask for it. It's what is part of what you already paid for. Now, if you lose a copy or you are dealing with someone who still does paper filing or paper storage, and they have to print out a whole lot, then obviously you're going to pay, but because the attorneys get paid by the time. But yeah, so let's get to questions. So let me start with good evening, Miss Abena. How are you? Oh, I told you we have people from hello, Miss Collins. Miss Collins is joining us from St. Kitts, one of the islands. Good evening, Nairobi love. Let's see. Thank you for joining, Ken. Yes, reminder to like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all our platforms. Okay, good evening. Good evening. So y'all, I'm not familiar. I can speak Yoruba, but I can't read it. So let's try. I know you're going to laugh. Okay, Ekusha Lorum. Something. Okay, I am on VAWA, which has been approved, and I'm waiting for I-485 approval, and my two children cannot file for them as my I-485 is pending. Over to you, attorney. This is your night. Q&A. So let me read that question again. So this person is saying they have an approved VAWA. They're waiting on the approval of the I-485. Their two children are involved. Can they file for the children at this time?
Are those kids in the United States? If those kids are in the United States,
NJ Piano. I'm assuming are your kids here with you? And yeah, remember to share. Thank you, Mr. Ben. Are your kids here with you? Yes, no.
I could.
Can you see those questions on your end?
No.
Okay, I guess it's just.
I cannot.
So I'll wait until they respond to that question.
Well, I mean,
or you can talk on both. Okay, so they said yes. The kids are here.
Well, if the kids are here, if the kids
and they're included in the VAWA petition,
and yes, that's the number one big thing. Those kids must have been listed in the I-360 application.
Yeah, she said yes. Or okay. He or she said yes. Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
They're included and they're here in the US.
Yeah. And also, at the time you submitted the I-360, if those kids are below 21, so
are the children under the age of 21? They're here in the US. Yes, they're under the age of 21.
So okay, so absolutely yes. So yes, you can apply for the kids for the children's I-485 green card. You can. And even for those who are outside the country, so let's say you have kids outside the country, you have an approved I-360, you're still waiting on the I-485. Two options here. With an approved I-360, you could do a follow to joint petition, or you wait till your I-485 gets approved. And then if the kids are below 21, you can then, file an F2A petition to actually bring the kids into the country.
Or you can actually, even on that, you can actually just do, when you get if the kids are under the age of 21 and they were listed in the I-360, then once you get your green card, then you can file an I-824 application for a follow to join, like you said, so that it can come. But at that point, you have to have your green card.
You have to have your physical.
Quite a number of those. I have one kid that they were supposed to have the interview, and then the ban came in. It's just But anyway, so yes, okay. Let me get to TikTok. Let's see. So I'll read the questions. Please do not repeat your questions. And disclaimer: responses to your questions are general. This is not attorney-client relationship. This is just general information. If you need anything specific to your case, we'll be glad to have a consultation with you. We do not. This is free consultation right now, which is free of charge. But if you need something tailored to your case, I charge for consultation. Attorney Agreement charges. So if you go on our website, 𝐸gunyomilaw.com. You get information. If you go on our website, olalayalawfirm.com, you get to schedule a consultation. So not if any question is very specific, then that's going to be my response to you. And please do not repeat questions. Okay. How long does I-45 motion reopen takes? That's something we can't control. That is. So we can hear you. Okay. My son's case is at the NVC, but on the 75 country visa pause, visa fees, can he come to adjust status? So the son's case, the son's case at NVC, they're from a country that is part of the 75 countries. But I'm assuming he has a non-immigrant visa that can come in. So if he's able to come in, would he be able to adjust status?
Well, you know what? Here is where the tough thing is, right? Is you getting that visa, that non-immigrant visa, to be able to come in. That itself could be a big one for us because even before you get the visa, the consular officials would have said, hey, looks like you have a case in MVC. We may not give you a visa, but let's even say the kid comes in, you have a visa already. You get into the United States. Yes, you can basically adjust status in the US. Now you would have to actually no, because now you're in the US, all what you got to do is to file an I-485 directly. But then you've got to notify MVC that, look, I'm now in the country. I'd like to adjust status. I'm now doing it with a different route with the I-485, close my NVC file. So yes.
Yeah. But also just to add to that, provided that your country is not also part of the USCIS pause. So it doesn't stop you from adjusting, meaning filing the I-485. But if the pause is still on, then obviously you can make a decision.
No,
so you just have to wait until you get a green card before you not notify NVC on that.
Yep.
Okay. Do I need a lawyer to go for ICE check-in?
Yes.
More than ever now. Yep.
Yes.
I mean, you don't need one, but it's advisable.
It is advisable. Yeah. And to be honest with you, again, in the good old days, ICE check-ins were routine, were random. You go in, go back. We'll see you again. And
come over the phone.
Even on the phone. But to be honest with you, don't want to scare you, whoever is asking. But we're seeing people being detained at ICE check-ins.
That's just the truth. Yeah.
So you've got to. It's advisable to have counsel just in case you get held.
Conditional to your green card. My husband wants to do our taxes jointly. But separate because his student. You can't do taxes jointly and separate. I guess you want to file married but separate because he has student loan. Is that a good or bad idea?
Look, so I usually get this a lot where you say you have some of these couples, real couples, genuine couples, and they go, look, we want to do taxes married file separate because my wife or my husband, he holds tons of money, student loans, school. And I usually tell them, I say, look, part of the requirement, part of the marital bona fide requirement says that you've got to commingle assets and liabilities. That's one of the big things that they want to see. So I usually tell my clients, say, look, take the L for a year or two, take the pain and commingle your assets. Now, can you file separately and still remove conditions? Yes, you can. But trust me, in this day and age, in this climate, there will be questions. And if you have great answers for it, I guess that's fine. But but just from my kind of person, I'm so risk averse. I just tell my clients, look, just file this thing together. And you see Attorney Sola laughing because she knows that I'm very, very risk averse. I tell my clients, I say, look, yes, you may have to pay back some. Let's just for the 2-3 years on this, let's do it together. Again, in this day and age, be careful. Mm-hmm.
But and I agree. But I love risk.
Yeah, I know.
Risk is my middle name.
I know.
Which I completely agree with. The only exemption I would say to that is if you've got a reasonable explanation.
Yeah.
So someone's, as far as bad loans, and if they're garnishing the person's wages or their refund for, back child support, or someone you're going to, someone is a payment plan with the IRS that you're trying to still have some income so as long as there's a reasonable explanation that you can make, then that's something. But if not, Fortune, I was going to read your question, but like I said, don't repeat questions. And since you decide to put your question like 5-6 times, it's going to be skipped. Okay, let's see. How can I get to go to Nigeria? Well, I don't do Nigerian immigration. Let's see. Hello, Miss Helen. How are you? Trying to make sure I didn't miss anyone's question. Please do not repeat your questions. Good evening. Do you offer services in other states? So I don't know if that question is for me or Attorney Egunyomi, but I'll let Attorney Egunyomi take that question.
Immigration law, we are allowed to practice immigration law in all 50 states. And so that naturally, I mean, just like me, just like the Attorney Sola as well, we travel all around the 50 states to represent clients in various field offices. Yep. So yes, we do. Yes.
Okay, let's go to Instagram.
I'm actually speaking for the both of us here. we do.
Yes. So okay. Hi. Hello, Miss Eniola. How are you? Hello, Olive Beauty Empire. Let's see. Okay, I already told you about the person who says hi. We're in CU together.
Hey, Covenant University, shout out to that person. Thank you.
Oh, Covenant University. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did 1 year in Covenant University before
you came to the US. So well, his contact information is on the screen, so I'm sure they probably will reach out to you.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Bosu. How are you? Good evening, sir. I'm like, we can hear him and see him. Okay, perfect. Okay. My mom says hello. Okay.
Hello, Grandma.
Thank you for sharing so much information with us. God bless both of you. Thank you. Otumba 126. Good evening, Mr. Egunyomi, residing in Indiana. So, Mr. Otumba, his information is right there on the screen. So, if you need to reach out to him, hello, 𝒕𝒐. 𝒕𝒐 is my son. That would be TJ.
TJ's on.
That would be our bro. 𝒕𝒐. Hello, 𝒕𝒐. Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure. How do I? So, Attorney Egunyomi, don't laugh. 𝒕𝒐 Olale says, how do I get my green card?
That's so funny. I like that. Hey, TJ.
𝒕𝒐, you want to trade your birth certificate? Just asking.
You are a son of the soul, TJ. It's
it is.
Man. It's your
because I remember, I think I was there in the hospital when I was going to use a cuss word. Let me say, like a day before my birthday. You remember something like that? Silly kid.
I like that.
My husband has submitted his N400 and he has done his biometrics, but because of the ban, he hasn't been scheduled for an interview.
Yep.
I was waiting for him to become a citizen. So I guess they didn't complete their question. Let me see if they completed the question. Let me keep going. I guess she's probably hello, finest Shandy. That's one of my sisters right there.
There you go.
Let's see. I didn't. Okay, so good evening. Is it advisable to put in? Okay, so this is the continuation of that question. Let me just make sure. See, okay. So, is it advisable to put in I-130, I-485 while my husband's N400 is already submitted and biometrics done, but the ban paused as posted? I guess is what they're asking. I guess my question to you, really, before you answer, Attorney, is what is your status? That's I guess, yeah, you're going to explain. So this person is asking, let me read it again. She's saying that her husband has submitted an N400, so I guess he's still a green card holder, has done his biometrics, but because of the ban, he's yet to be scheduled for the interview, but she was waiting for him to become a citizen so he can file for her. And she's asking whether they can still go ahead to submit the I-130 and I-485 while the husband's N400 is still pending.
Well, like we always say in law school, it depends. It depends. So the first big one is, what is your status? If you are in status, when I say in status, not asylum pending, if you're in lawful visa status.
Yep.
To all our friends online, you submit, and I get this a lot. Oh, lawyer, I'm currently in status. What's your status? Well, I submitted an asylum. That is not a lawful status, lawful non-immigrant status. It is not. It's just a pending authorization for you to still stay temporarily in the U.S.
Exactly.
That's not the same as a status. So to the woman asking, you have to be in lawful status. So your B1, B2 still has to be on. I mean, like your I-94 should still say you're allowed to be in the country. Your F1 visa has still got to be on. If you are in lawful visa status, and the visa bulletin allows you to, this is now getting complicated now, and the visa bulletin allows you to submit, spousal of green card, to submit a petition, yes, your husband may file something for you. But if you're out of status, no, you cannot submit. If your I-94 has expired, your visa has expired, nope, you cannot until it becomes a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, and you can submit he can file the I-130 for you, but as a standalone petition, but you cannot file an I-485 based on that.
That's right.
Because go ahead.
So you cannot get your green card because you're out of status until he becomes a U.S. citizen, and then he can file the 485 for you. But yeah, you can put the I-130 in to get started.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. If your I-485 is denied and you're still married to a U.S. partner, can that still count as a relief in court?
You know what? I'll tell you what. I got a very sour taste out of this. And this is a great segue, attorney. No. You have to file your I-485 in court. You have to file a separate relief in court. The one you filed with USCIS will not count as a relief in court. And guess what? This is real life. Folks filed I-130, I-485 with USCIS. They still got put in removal based on the prior applications or whatever. And then now it's back in the day, good old days, we'll tell the judge, please, can you admin close our case or terminate the case so that we can go back to USCIS because we have a pending petition. Up until, I promise you, up until Trump became president again, that was the norm. And hell, some people were not even married to their spouse, but they go to immigration court and then the judge tells them, go and get married to your spouse.
Yep.
So that we can close your case in court or temporarily close it and go back to USCIS. But guess what? With a pending I-130 these days and a pending I-485 with USCIS, if you find yourself in immigration court, you may still be ordered removed. I've seen that happen.
Yep.
There has to be a new relief in court. We're talking about asylum or whatever you're going to file. Okay? I hope that answers the question.
And you can also still file. So just to go on that question, if your husband refiles an I-130, for instance, or if your I-485 is the only thing that's denied and you still have the I-130 or maybe an approved I-130 and all that, you're placed in removal proceedings, yes, you can actually file your I-485 with the court, but it's got to be a completely different I-485, and then the judge can adjudicate that. But now, just like Attorney Egunyomi said, a judge is not going to listen to you unless you actually have an approved I-130.
Yes.
They're not listening to, I have a pending case or I have a pending bar and a prima facie. That's not working anymore. That's just the truth. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Next question. A general reminder, this isn't the time to have just anyone file. Thank you, Ms. Adin. As a reminder, to file your paperwork, hire an accredited attorney to have your case evaluated. Thank you so much. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anyone. Is it possible to petition USCIS to release a work authorization that has been sent for renewal since April 2025 and has still not been renewed? Meanwhile, work has been asking.
I'm getting that a lot these days, but again, if your country is on one of those countries that President Trump has said, pause all adjudication, I'm sorry to say there is nothing you can do.
I mean, you can ask for an exemption, but it's probably not going to be granted.
It's probably not going to, but try it.
It's a high, like
it's like a high bar.
And then you have to go through one office. It's just a mess. So they already know. Yeah, so
you can try, but
we wish there was. Listen, we're all tired of it. Ms. Abena says TJ loves to play. You can say that again. When you say USCIS isn't adjudicating, are they also not issuing EADs and what petitions are exempt? I guess you already talked a little bit about that.
Absolutely. EADs, green cards, literally parole, citizenship. The only exception, if you're trying to renew your green card, I-90, when you file an I-90, that's one of the exceptions. So those who have green cards already, and it's expiring and you're trying to renew.
Mm-hmm.
The law or the regulation allows USCIS to actually process and adjudicate those.
Yeah.
Those are one of the rare exceptions.
And also those who are filing their C8 asylum EADs for the first time, initial applications.
That too.
Okay. My wife and I filed separately, and I believe it wouldn't affect my citizenship application. I think the person is talking about taxes.
Well, again, to Attorney Sola point, as long as you've got to have something credible. Just saying, well, we filed separately because I just feel like that's not going to cut it these days. You got to have something tangible. You've got to have something. Because
financial commingling is a big deal for USCIS.
It is.
All right. So the previous question, the person that was asking if they can file the I-130 and 45 now, pending the husband's N-400 interview, she just came back and says no status. My visa expired, so I guess you're just gonna have to wait until he becomes a citizen.
Yeah.
Okay. I arrived through Mexico. I don't have an I-94. I got married. We filed an I-130 and still haven't been called for an interview. Can I apply for VAWA to change my status? This person obviously doesn't understand how this will work. Go ahead, attorney. You want to read that question again?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I arrived through Mexico. I don't have an I-94, so I guess they just came in.
Mm-hmm.
I got married. We filed an I-130, and we have not been called for an interview. Can I apply for VAWA to change my status? They're two different things.
Yeah, those are two different things. But I mean, just in a nutshell, if you faced abuse in your marriage, genuine abuse, and you've been through hell, can you, even though you came in without inspection, can you file for VAWA? Yes, you can. Yes, you can file for VAWA, and as long as that was your one time. I mean, it's not like you've been thrown out and then you've kind of snuck into the border. If it's just a one-time thing, you can file an I-360 VAWA and an I-45. That is in one of the rarest instances where when you come in without a visa, without inspection, where folks can apply for VAWA.
Yeah.
So VAWA cures that. A typical I-130, I-45 would not cure an
exactly.
EWI. It would not cure you entering without inspection. All right. But VAWA, yes, it will.
Next question. Does the pause impact both I-140 approval and I-485, or just the I-485 for a country like Nigeria?
The pause gets you on everything except for the I-90 and except for that C8 EAD for first-timers who applied for asylum. Those are the exceptions. Those two narrow exceptions. The pause is the pause. It's everything.
That's it. Yep. All right. Let me go back to TikTok. I know there's some questions or coming back in, so because we're almost out of time. My wife is an American. What's our fastest route? I mean, there you go.
Marriage, as long as it has to be, real marriage. Well, you've said your wife. Well, real marriage backed up with solid marital bona fides. You get into that USCIS office, friends, it is different. They're asking the most detailed of all detailed questions.
Ridiculous.
The showers in the bathroom, is it a knob? And this is my favorite.
Crazy. Yeah.
Is it a knob or is it a lever?
What is the color of the towels in your bathroom?
Because of the towels, we're getting detailed. What's the fridge, the microwave, what's the color? What's the make?
Yeah. It's insane. You think we're not making this up. It's some of the things that as much as we prep clients, we're thinking, oh shoot, I didn't even think of that. Because now you're writing everything. Everything is like there's nothing they can ask you now.
Yep.
About your intimate sexual. It's just. I mean, obviously, some attorneys can go ahead.
I got one of those intimate questions, and I objected to that. And I'm being factual, and the officer told me, look, there's a new sheriff in town, council. Deal with it.
That's just a reality. Now, obviously, there's some things if it borders on legal stuff that an attorney can. Sometimes, if you overstep your boundaries, they may put you out. Like I've been put out in USCIS.
I've been threatened to be thrown out of USCIS offices.
I succeeded in being put out. I'm
Yeah.
not going to make me surprised. So, how long is it going to take take now for you to have a work permit? About anything about processing time? How long that's going to take? If you're not on the USCIS hold, go on uscis.gov/processing times.
Mhm.
How long do these bans last? I wish we know. Listen. If
Mm.
we knew, life would be a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
My
Yeah.
2 years conditional green card would expire in September 2026. My country is one of the ban. So, what's your question? Will I get my green card extension?
Yes, you will. So basically, as long as you submit your I-751 conditions removal, I mean, before your card expires. So, and this, we just did this some days ago. You submit that. Again, just as we've said, USCIS, I mean, they're still accepting applications, even though there is an O. They will cash your money, issue your receipts. In this case, when you submit a 751 application, they once you've been feeding, they will send you an extension for 48 months. So yes, it will come.
And for I-751 petitioners, y'all are still even good because even before the ban, it's taking forever anyway.
It's forever anyway.
Every 2 to 3 years. So that's why they're giving you a 48-month extension. So you still have plenty of time to even wait. Even if when the ban gets lifted, you're probably still going to be waiting. But you don't have a choice but to file your I-751 to remove the conditions because you have to. If not, they're going to terminate your status. My husband came from a banned country on a B1, B2. Can the USCIS pause affect our filing case?
So if you came in on a B1, B2, and are they trying to file?
I guess they probably had a visa before, but now that he's here, so they're probably trying to adjust, with USCIS.
So again, if your country is on one of those country lists, yes, I mean, you can file to adjust status, but there will be a pause.
But it's going to be, let's see. We're almost out of time, so let me see what we can still take. I want to ask about EB2. Kindly pick my. What do you want to ask? You can put your question in the comment section. Is this person for real? Anyway, I'm going to ignore that question. That's a ridiculous question. We have some trolls sometimes. Okay, so all right, so that's that. My son just got citizenship through the military, and my asylum is pending. Can he file for me?
Yes. That's a simple yes.
Will an I-130 case pause if you're placed in removal?
Well, no. I mean, so you've been and I tell folks this, right? So let's say you were put in removal and then you then filed the I-130 afterwards. USCIS still has jurisdiction over your I-130, number one.
Just the I-130 now.
Just the I-130, not the 485. The moment you get put in removal, USCIS has no jurisdiction over an I-485. Yeah. The courts, the judge would have jurisdiction over your I-485. But all I-130s get processed by USCIS. However, if you file an I-130 after you get put in removal, there is an I-10 bar because the law, they want to make sure that you just didn't file an I-130 because you're trying to escape deportation.
Yeah.
So the standard is you have to show clear and convincing, right? Is that right?
Clear and convincing, and you have to do a bona fide exemption.
Yes.
If you get married when you're already in court. Now, if you're married before you're placed in court, that's different. But
that's different.
It's applicable if you're already in court prior to the marriage.
Prior to the marriage, but it's after you have to show by clear and convincing evidence that it's a real marriage. So it's an I-10 bar, basically.
Is having a child together a strong proof of a bona fide marriage?
Probably one of the strongest things you can ever show.
I mean, what else is going to tie you together for life besides a human being like 𝒊𝒎𝒏?
However, though, let me tell tell the audience, I go to USCIS offices, man, woman, and the child or kids in Indianapolis. And then you show, officer, so they call us, so they come outside and they call us to come in. And the first thing I try to say, hey, officer, we've got a baby here, they have kids. And I've seen situations where USCIS officers will go, oh, sure, thanks for letting me know. Separate. I still want the couples separated. So the fact that you have a child, I mean, that's a great.
I think it has to be y'all in Indiana, because I don't know what else. It has to be y'all, because the last interview I had in Montgomery in Alabama, and we went. The couple has 2 kids, and we actually got called in, and the officer was like, "I'm trying to understand why we requested you to come in for an interview." It's like, I've been trying to understand that since you got like. He goes, I mean, these are your kids. I mean, they look like the guy like. He goes, okay, so is anything y'all want to talk about? Like, no, give me gas money. Let me go. But anyway, so that's all the time we have tonight. The time went by super fast. So once again, if you are, like I said, this is my brother, my first brother, but I love him. I love him. He is probably the only attorney I can know. It's the immigration I say I can vouch for, because he's just excellent. Now, when I tell you that this guy is meticulous, his prep sessions are out of this world. You think I'm Havo City and prepping people for interview? You ain't seen nothing yet. Like, this guy is immigration officer as an attorney. You can't, if you, I don't even know what to say. But reach out to Attorney Egunyomi, 317-528-0142. If we can help you at the Olalaya Law Firm, reach out to us, 334-341-4475. And I always like to end each night with, or each live with, some encouragement. It's been a great evening. Thank you, Attorney Egunyomi, for honoring our invitation. But he's also a man of faith. That's another thing we connect on. And I always say that sometimes we pray together. But I always say I can't be anyone's first lady, because I reserve the right to also cuss people out. But just like you will agree with me that in all this, we can only do the best we can as human. By the end of the day, God has the final say. So regardless of what any man-made law is, and I keep saying that, God remains God. There is no battle that is going to come your way that if you walk with God, that you would not walk into victory. So this is just a matter of time. This is just, this is the phase we are all going through. We're passing through. We primarily represent West Africans and Caribbean. So we know what this pause is doing. We're filling it with our clients, and we're also hanging out with the clients and just praying and believing and trusting God that this too shall pass. And you will look back at one time, and the time will come, we'll look back and say, thank you, God, for fighting our battles. So just hold on, keep believing in faith. And one of my favorite quotes is, Abraham hoping against hope. Keep hoping against hope, because God still remains in control. Attorney, thank you very much for gracing us tonight.
It was an honor. This was fun. Thank you so much for the invite. Look forward to doing this again anytime you want me on. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome any day.
Yes.
Because you stressed me already, so I don't know. Y'all have a wonderful night.